However, potentially Russia has more resources compared to Ukrainian side, but stupid Russian management doesn't use it. But Ukraine gets more and more resources. For example, Germany is okay if Poland sends Ukraine Leopard tanks, says the minister. Breaking news. This is the Polish newspaper showing Scholz hiding his tanks from Ukraine. Well, actually, Germany will also send those tanks finally, my friends. I have no doubts about it. They already say that potentially they can transfer 19 of those tanks. Those are Leopard 2A5. The modification is better compared to A4. New armor on a turret, new electronic systems and equipment, and better protection on the sides of the base. Yes, still Leopard 2A7 is much better, but A5 is also okay. Many of the Bradleys were spotted in Poland, that's the neighboring country with Ukraine, and they still carry this desert camouflage, and probably they will be repainted for the green one and delivered to Ukrainian army. United States promised lots of those vehicles. Even Morocco sent 20 of the T-72B tanks to Ukrainian army. Previously, Morocco received those tanks from the Belarusian side. Macron said that France may supply Leclerc tanks to Ukrainian army, but that supply should be negotiated with allies, including Germany. Yes, this is probably the best tank out there. Boris Johnson visited Kiev today. He went to Bucha, Kiev suburbs, and to Kiev itself. He met with President Zelensky, who I think is his friend. As for me, it's hard to say whether Boris has the influence on UK politics right now, but President Zelensky was happy to see an old friend in Kiev. Bloomberg says that China is supplying all of the materials and equipment to make the ammunition and shells for European countries, and supply lines goes through Russia. You see that logistics is interconnected, and without the major war on a continent, simply you cannot block the supplies. On this picture you can see the places where Russia put the new air defense systems Panzer S to protect Putin in Kremlin. So Kremlin is here and it's covered by all of the 3 Panzer S systems. Obviously, they have many more air defense systems in Moscow, but they do afraid of Ukrainian drones. Alright, National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine arrested the deputy of one of the ministers who was bribed with $400,000. Recently, there were lots of the corruption scandals in Ukraine, including army, unfortunately. So food supplies for the army were purchased for the much higher price, and actually it was partially admitted by our Ministry of Defense. But what I don't like, that Ministry of Defense assaulted the journalists who reviewed this wrongdoing. Defense Ministry said that they will alert SBU, it's the internal analog of the FBI, to investigate those journalists who did the investigation and showed up the corruption in Ministry of Defense. So I wonder why was that reaction from Defense Ministry. Yes, they say they will go on internal investigation of their system as well, but it shows that the system is corrupt and journalists use just open sources for investigation, and now ministry wants to make them guilty. It doesn't work like that in modern society. You know, we're so reliable on our Western help, and having the corruption during the hard times, my friends, it's absolutely unacceptable. And you may say, Dennis, why you speak about the bad sides of Ukraine? You should speak only about the good things to increase the support. Well, guys, it doesn't work like that. Corruption exists everywhere. The level is different, and also the reaction of the government is different. Here, I don't like the corruption and I don't like the reaction. And I'm sure that without corruption, our soldiers would get much better equipment and supplies. So it's very crucial and it's very important to speak about it during this time. And President Zelensky today announced the massive cleaning of the government next week. So they aware of the corruption schemes probably, and they would fire many of the officials. At least I hope that it will be like that, because society is very angry about this topic.